Dialogue in games comes in many shapes and sizes. For that reason, I built my Dialogue Manager plugin for Godot to be as versatile as possible. Dialogue Manager takes care of the data side of things, but lets your game define how the dialogue actually looks and feels. There is a basic example balloon that comes with Dialogue Manager that you can totally use in your game, but chances are you'll want something that fits the aesthetic of your game a little bit better. How you go about doing that is entirely up to you, but I have put together a few example projects to help showcase a few ways it could be done. In this video, I'll do a quick run through of those examples and then show you in a little more detail how to get started building your custom dialogue balloon. Let's get started. All of these example projects are available on my itch page. A link to that is in the description. The first example project is a visual novel style game. This one follows a little story about an ensign on a starship as she helps solve a problem. It demonstrates changing locations and adding and removing characters to the scene, as well as using some branching dialogue as a kind of puzzle. The next example project utilizes speech bubbles for its dialogue balloons. The bubbles are styled by the speaking character and get attached to them when they speak. This project also demonstrates using interactive triggers to initiate dialogue in the scene. Example project number 3 demonstrates a point-and-click adventure style dialogue arrangement.
Click on stuff to look at it.
It also shows you how you can handle translations and spoken voice lines in your game.
I'll walk over there for a closer look, but I don't seem to have a walk animation.
It uses clickable areas to trigger dialogue. The next example demonstrates an endless scrollable list kind of dialogue. It just keeps adding new lines as needed to the scroll container. This project also shows how you can accept arbitrary input from the player. And the last example project shows a portrait for the speaking character as well as animating those portraits using tags within your dialogue. That's all the example projects that I have available at the moment, but if there's any dialogue style that you'd like to see an example for, then let me know in the comments. Now, let's have a quick look at how you'd get started creating a custom dialogue balloon for your game. But before that, I'd just like to quickly thank my patrons. This month's Cockatoo patrons are Mark Lucia and Vanillib, and this month's our patrons are Talcarin and Mario J. Roberti. Okay, back to making a custom dialogue balloon. I'm starting with a basic pixel art world with a movable character similar to a couple of the example projects I talked about earlier. At the moment, this project is just using the built-in example balloon, which looks like this. What I want to do is add some basic photo portraits into this dialogue balloon that show who's talking. I have these two images that I can use as portraits. They're both 150 pixels by 150 pixels. I'll start by making a copy of the example balloon using this tool menu item and choosing a place to put it. Then I'll open up that new scene and have a look. Now, the structure of this balloon will be slightly different depending on which version of Dialogue Manager you have, but the general idea is going to be the same. All we really need to do here is wrap the character and dialogue controls in an HBox container so that we can have the portrait sit next to them. Also make sure to set the old VBox to expand into its new container. I'll add in some spacing here too. Then I'll add a texture rect that will be our portrait and make sure its minimum size is 150 by 150. And then give it a scene unique name. That step is optional, but it can make things easier to read. Now I'll add the portrait control in as an onReady variable. If you're using C#, that's a two-step process, but here in GDScript I can just drag it over and it inserts the line for me. Then, in the apply dialog method, in the bit where it's setting up the character label, we can add in some code to check for the image resource and then set the portrait texture if it exists. And now that looks like this. Now let's just make a couple more tiny tweaks. I'll add some more padding and more roundedness to the corners. And I'll make the font a bit bigger. And that now looks like this. So you can see how simple it can be to get started with your own custom dialogue balloons. All of the heavy lifting is done with Godot's fantastic UI controls. I'll leave things there for now, but if you have any questions then leave a comment below or jump into my Discord, there's lots of friendly folks in there. And if you're using Dialogue Manager in your game and you want to support my work on it, then check out those example projects on itch or join my Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.